Hi, it's Professor Brown, and I want to give you just a little bit of an example of the power of the by the way Clausette. Now remember the by the way piece, this extra piece gives information that elaborates on or supports the main sentence. So this extra piece is separated out by commas, whether it's the beginning, middle, or end, right? You learned about that in the course today. But this extra piece gives details. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, for example, a little write-up that came from nasa.gov that was published today. And it's just a caption to a picture of an egret. And I'm going to read to you the caption without the by the way pieces. Okay, this is what it sounds like. A snowy egret marches through a pond near NASA's Kennedy Space Center and looks for food. The species inhabits salt marshes, ponds, rice fields, and shallow coastal bays. The Merritt Island National Wildlife Refuge has more than 330 native and migratory bird species living there. Okay, 3 facts. Notice it just felt like blip, 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 right? Blah, blah, blah. 3 pieces. But if we add the by the ways, which become more information, become definitions, become these little descriptions, it allows for the reader to get a really smooth, powerfully packed paragraph. This is what it reads like with the extra pieces, the by the way Clausette's pieces in there. In the above image from March 29, 2007, a snowy egret, identifiable by its slender black bill, black legs, and yellow feet, marches through a pond near NASA's Kennedy Space Center and looks for food. From Maine to southern South America, the species inhabits salt marshes, ponds, rice fields, and shallow coastal bays. The Merritt Island National Wildlife Refuge, which shares a boundary with the Kennedy Space Center, has more than 330 native and migratory bird species living there. Wow, we just doubled the information. We gave context. We gave extra information that defined and buffed up what we were learning into something really shiny and really powerful. And notice it had a rhythm to it. You could hear where I put the commas. I want to read it one more time. This time I'm going to say, by the way, where the comma goes, showing that by the way piece separated out. Are you ready? In the above image from March 29, 2007, by the way, a snowy egret, by the way, identifiable by its slender black bill, black legs, and yellow feet, by the way, marches through a pond near NASA's Kennedy Space Center and looks for food. By the way, from Maine to southern South America, by the way, the species inhabits salt marshes, ponds, rice fields, and shallow coastal bays. The Merritt Island National Wildlife Refuge, by the way, which shares a boundary with the Kennedy Space Center, by the way, has more than 330 native and migratory bird species living there. Now that sounds kind of goofy, doesn't it? But it shows how much this by the way piece, oh, by the way, here's an extra piece. By the way, here's something that's going to allow your understanding to be fuller, right? It shows that by the way pieces can be strewn throughout what we write, and you'll see the example. I'll have a downloadable piece here for you of what it looks like with the by the way pieces highlighted. So you can see exactly what happens with the commas. And by the way, there are also lists in this example. So you'll see how multiple types of commas are layered within one sentence. So you don't just do one thing in one sentence. You are adding a lot of things together so that you have, by the way, commas, you have lists. There are 2 sentences with lists. We have commas around a date. We have lots of little reasons why we're using commas. And again, it's complex. The older you get, the more you write up through academics and living life. Just life is more complex. Ideas are more complex. You will be layering these types of commas that we're talking about and learning about in the class. So go ahead, take a peek at the visuals for this as well, and understand that using by the way pieces, these Clausettes correctly, okay, in a way that's smooth and works and is ordered in a really nice way, allows the reader to flow smoothly through the paragraph with you and gives the reader enough information to really feel grounded in what you're talking about.